All right. So who all we have in the class? I see. I see Moira, Advik, Tanu, Arav, Dikshita, Vivan, and myself. And then Sri is joining as well. Okay. So let me do one thing. While we are waiting for everybody else to join, let me send a reminder that class is starting. Anirudh is also here. Okay. All right. So now let me just remind everybody one more time before we start.
Teacher, can you hear me properly?
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, quick roll call one more time. So we have Arav, Advik, Anirudh, Dikshita, Moira, Sri, Vivan, and Thanu. I know some of the kids are still enjoying the festive season and they might be busy with something or other, but we'll get started. So what did we learn yesterday? Can anybody help me recall? Yes, Myra.
We learned exponents.
Okay. Yeah, Dikshita, Tanu, same thing, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, what do we want to learn today? We want to learn simple and compound interest. No, Arab, you don't have the option to ask questions. Otherwise, if I listen to your feedback, you will only learn one thing that is called ChatGPT, which is a nonsense for me. Okay? ChatGPT, this is what ChatGPT does. If I show two fingers in the math class, it starts flowing, kind of flying balloons. See? This is nothing but an annoyance, if I can say so. In a math class, I am saying I have two problems to solve, and it starts flying balloon. That is called a nonsense. Yeah? Alright. So, let's come back to serious business. So, I see somebody with name V. Chava. Sangrita, okay. So Sangrita, I would request you can, when you try to log in, see if you have an option to put your name, because I'm getting old, I keep on forgetting names, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I would not want to address you with a different name. Alright. So, we want to learn simple and compound interest. It's not that we have not learned it before, but I would be honest in saying that I saw many of you struggling with that in the last test. And one feedback that I have for each one of you is, when you are solving the problem, everybody was more interested in just showing the answer. And that doesn't create excitement for me. I don't get excited by just seeing the numbers or just the answer. I always aspire, hope that you guys will at least do some scratch work for your own review and then put the numbers, the answers. So going forward in the future tests, don't repeat the same mistakes of just writing the answer, because just writing the answer doesn't give me any clue with respect to how you have solved it. I'm not saying that everybody did not do it, but majority of you. Okay? Majority of the people just were interested in putting the numbers. If you have an answer sheet, put the answer, and by the side just put some scratch work. Say, okay, fine, I'm doing this, and then this, and then the minimum calculation, right, that you would have done to get to the answer. Put that in the paper. Don't use your brain too much. Your brain will get overworked and get stressed out. Okay? So use that. Okay, now let's start with interest and compound interest. So first of all, what do you guys remember or recall? Okay, you teach, Arav. I've not asked the question yet. You are ready to answer. So this is one of, now I have an opportunity to bore you guys. Okay? What does it say? Trust yourself. Read the question enough. Read the question again and again. Then you do your analysis and then you go to Nike. Just do it. So doing it is the last step. I don't want to say it again. I'm saying that read the question carefully couple of times. Did you read the question, Arav? You did not. I have not completed the question itself. Without reading, how are you trying to solve it? Don't do that. Okay? So again, I might crack some bad jokes, but the purpose is very clear. I don't want you guys to get distracted and make mistakes. Yadvik?
I forgot to ask you, what did you guys learn last class?
We learned exponents, and that is there in the video again. So we learned about exponents, basic rules of exponents, how we derive them again. We also learned or related that with rational exponents as well, which was one of the questions in the test, and where I saw some of you have made mistakes. So we just covered that concept one more time. Yeah, Arav. Saying something? Okay, so let's try to, yeah, Vishal.
I wasn't able to take the test last time.
No, I understand that. So yeah, I mean, you were missing the class yesterday as well. So I believe it was all because of Christmas.
No, cause and I had like a lot of concerts.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So I had put the question paper also in the WhatsApp group. So you can ask Daddy to kind of download it for you. You can try solving it and send it to me offline, you and Vasundhara, okay? So that I can check how you have solved it and are you clear with those concepts. So we have just started the second iteration of what we have learned, okay? So Vishal, I would probably want to talk to you offline. I'll rather talk to Daddy, okay? Not something to worry about. It's more about I'm planning to see, if I can align you with the next grade also, okay? Because a lot of things that I see that you have already covered in the past. So I'll talk to Daddy sometime, after the Christmas break, and then we'll see if you want to, make any tweak to the plan, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Arav?
Can you please explain what you did last class again?
For that you have to watch the video. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the purpose of the video, right? I'm not a YouTuber for sure. And I don't want to be a YouTuber. I hate that term. Okay? So I'm sorry for using those strong words, but yeah, on a serious note, we have started the second iteration of what we have learned already, so that the concept that we have learned, if we have not practiced them enough, it will be our second chance to go through them and make sure that we are kind of making good progress with our understanding of things, and any concept that is not clear, we are able to revise them. So we are going to start with simple and compound interest. Now, before I start, quickly I want to understand, what do you know by simple interest and compound interest, and what is the difference? No, I'll not let you speak. You cannot be the only person talking always. Okay? Tanu, do you want to explain? No? How about you, Dikshita? No, out of hands down. I'll not come to you today. Not for this question at least. Vishal, do you want to explain?
I think simple interest is calculated like of the original principal amount, and like compound interest is calculated based on the principal amount plus any interest that has been earned.
Okay. How about you, Sanita? Do you want to explain that to me? Based on your understanding?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Okay, Arav, one last person. You're the last man standing. Go ahead.
So basically, simple interest is the money that you keep each year. And so it's basically calculated, the interest equals principal times time times the rate of the interest you get back.
I'm wanting input at the concept level. I'm not wanting any cryptic formula to be told to this class. Okay. Let's see. Pranav, give me simple definition. Okay. What is simple interest and what is compound interest and what is your understanding?
A simple interest is like when the base is getting its interest added on like each year or in a specific amount of time, and compounder is like when the interest is added from a different time period and the interest grows on that.
Okay. Okay. I'll let Advik also say before I start. Okay. Yeah, Advik.
So I think simple interest is like the interest you get from like keeping your money in the bank, and after you get the interest you take it out and then you just spend it all, and then the next year you get the same interest and then you spend it and repeat it and so on and forth. And as Albert Einstein said that compound interest was the eighth wonder of the world.
No, let's stop it there, okay? Because I think we are going way too far. Okay, let's not go that far. Okay. If I say simple in simple terms, a simple interest is a scenario when you only get interest on your principal amount, wherein compound interest is where you get interest on your interest earned as well. So where your interest is getting compounded, you are getting extra interest. Okay. So again, coming back to the point, simple interest is where you have a principal amount and you get a fixed fixed value of interest every year. Wherein in compound interest, you get interest on the top of your interest also. So now let's look at a scenario like this. If I have $100 and I put it in bank, okay? Bank says I'll give you 5% simple interest. What will bank do? After the first year, he'll say, okay, you completed 1 year with me, I'm giving you $5 interest. So $100 was my principal amount and gave me $5 interest. After second year, bank says, wow, you spent 1 more year with me. So $100 was the principal amount and I had given you $5 before, I'm giving you $5 more. Third year, I completed 3 years in the same bank and bank got really impressed with my performance, said, okay, fine. I had given you $100, you had put $100 before, I had given you $5 in the first year, I had given you $5 in the second year, and see how consistent I am, I'm giving you $5 again. What did bank do? Bank said, see how consistent and predictable I am. I'm giving you $5 for saving $100 in my bank every year. So if you stay with me for 3 years, you will get 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15 on the top of what was your principal amount. Is that straightforward so far? But what is happening is, after the first year, you did. Yeah, Dikshita.
Can you explain it again?
Okay. It's a very simple thing. Simple interest. So interest is very simple. Okay. You had $100. You said, I want to save this amount in my bank account. You went to the bank and said, I want to save $100 in my account. Bank said, wow, we give 5% interest. Meaning every year I'll give you $5 for every $100. So since you have saved $100, after completing 1 year in the bank, when you deposited the amount in the bank, after completing 1 year, bank gave you $5. And you were not wanting to take that money out. You kept the amount in the bank for 1 more year. So after you completed 2nd year, bank said, okay, fine. See, you have put $100. After completing 1 year, I have given you $5. You completed 2 years. I'm giving you $5 more. Okay. Then you said, okay, fine. I don't need this money. You kept the money in the bank for 1 more year. After completing 3 years, bank said, see, you are being consistent customer. You are keeping your money with us. So after completing 1st year, I have given you $5. After completing 2 years, I gave you another $5. So since you have completed 3rd year, I am giving you another $5. And bank is trying to get the credit. See, I am so committed, so honest, so transparent with you. And I am giving you $5 every year for your $100. Okay. So after 3 years, if you want to take the money out from the bank, you will get 100 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So $115. Okay. Is part clear? Simple interest. Sanvita, is this clear to you, beta? Okay. Alright. Myra, clear? Advi, no questions? Vasundhara with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. I said Vasundhara with me, Arav says I'm with you. Are you Vasundhara now?
No, but you asked me the question.
I said, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, alright. So yeah, just checking with everybody. So, after 3 years, this is the money we got. So, let's say I wanted to use this money, so how much I have? I have 100 plus 15, $115. Now I'm thinking, somebody is cheating me actually. Why? Because after 1 year, I did not have $100, I had $105 because I got this interest. Once you complete your dance step, then I'll continue on. So, after completing 1 year, I had $105, not $100. Correct? Dikshita, agree with me? So, I should have gotten interest on this amount. Because this was my net worth. Earlier, I had $100. After I spent 1 year, my net worth is $105. So bank should have looked at this as my value in the bank and should have given me 5% interest on the top of this. But bank is telling me, no, I am giving you simple interest every year $5 for 100. So I am losing money here. Okay? So conceptually if you look at it, when you get interest on the principal amount every year, that is called simple interest. That's the simplest way of calculating interest. But when you start getting interest on the top of your interest as well, this becomes 105. 5% of that will be something, and then it becomes, next year it becomes 106 point something plus 5. So see, this has become 100, 205, 110, 115, but here it becomes 105, then it becomes 11 or 12 something. Here it will become probably 117 something. So the net value from $100, here it will become 115, here it will become 117 plus something. So actually, if you get interest on the top of this money also, you make more money. So that's why compound interest is better, obviously, because you are getting interest on the top of your interest earned as well. Okay, so let's not, out of this nothing to ask, hands down. Okay, so simple thing is, in terms of simple interest, you don't get interest on the top of your interest earned. In case of compound interest, you earn interest on the top of your new net worth or your new value based on the interest earned. Okay? So when you earn interest for your interest, that is compound interest. When you don't earn interest for your interest, that is simple interest. Does that make sense? Conceptually. Now, what was your question, Arav?
Could this also work for like if you owe them because you took like a loan?
It's a term, okay? When I say percentage, percentage means percentage. Now, whether you use percentage for getting a discount, whether you get percentage for interest, whether you get percentage for something else, it's all the same thing, okay? So, whether it's a loan or whether it's a saving, doesn't matter. Yes, Vivan.
Sir, what is the difference in graphs? Like, what type of line does each interest make?
So, you are probably a little ahead of me. I will probably not try to answer that question now, because if I do so, I will complicate it for you. What I will do is, I will come to the calculation part first, and then we will go to the graph to see what happens. Will that be okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, let's look at this. Let's look at the calculation now. If I say, my principal amount is, let's say $100. Okay? I call this as a term P. My rate of interest is, let's say 5%. I call this as R. R is the rate of interest. Okay? And I keep my money in the bank for, let's say 3 years. 3 years. Okay? So my time for which I am keeping the money in the bank is T. Okay? So if somebody says, how much interest I will earn in 3 years? What will you do? You will say, okay, how much is the interest for 1 year? I'm talking about simple interest so far, okay? If I'm talking about simple interest, what is the rate of interest? 5%. So every year I will get 100 into 5 by 100. Let's make this 200, okay? Let's say I have $200, okay? I'm becoming richer now. I have $200, okay? So my principal amount is 200, my rate of interest is 5%, and time for which I am keeping my money in the bank is 3 years, okay? So, how much interest I will get in 1 year? 200, 5% of 200, right? That's my rate of interest. This much interest I will get. Are you guys with me so far? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I am keeping the money in the bank for 3 years, this is the interest I will get. Yeah? Yeah, everyone.
Oh, sorry, sir. Accidentally hit.
That's okay. Now, so what is, if you look at this, I can say my interest earned is what? This is my P, the principal amount, multiplied by what? My rate of interest, multiplied by the duration, T is my time, by 100. This is my formula for calculating simple interest. If somebody says, Yadvik.
My bad, I accidentally clicked that.
Okay, not a problem. So, here if you look at simple interest calculation, this simple formula. How do you again, you don't have to memorize this formula, okay? I'm just telling you how you can relate it. So my interest earned is equal to the amount, my principal amount multiplied by the rate of interest multiplied by the duration divided by 100. You can remember this formula, you can forget about it, doesn't matter. Because you know that if my simple interest is, let's say, 10%, if I keep my money, let's say $1,000 in the bank, how much will I earn in 1 year? 1,000 multiplied by 10 by 100. 10% of 1,000. This is what I will get a simple interest in 1 year. If I so this is $100. So $100 is what I will get as interest every year. If I'm keeping it for 1 year, I'll get 100. If I'm keeping it for 2 years, I'll get 100 into 2. If I'm keeping it for 5 years, I'll get 100 into 5. Simple. Yeah? So you don't have to worry about the formula. You know how to calculate percentage, and then that's it. Now you will say, okay, fine. I had, let's say, $1,000. This was my principal amount, and 10% was the rate of interest. Every year I'm getting 10% of this, so 1,000 into 10 by 100, which translates to $100. So after 1 year, what is my principal amount? 1,000 plus 100. After 2 years, what is my principal amount? 1,000 plus 200. After 3 years, what is my principal amount? 1,000 plus 300. Whether you call it principal amount or accumulated amount or your net worth, whatever you call it, that's fine. But that is your total value in the bank. Is that part clear so far? Now comes the fun, which certainly requires me to drink some water. Okay, what is that step called, Arav?
What?
What is that step called?
Oh, it's like when you like step your feet, you have to like you have to put your arms up, and then when you put your arms up, you put like
Don't go way too far. I was saying, is it in the math syllabus or outside the syllabus?
It is outside the syllabus.
Okay, let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Alright, coming back to some serious thing. Okay, nobody will play with emoji also. Pranav, don't do that. Now, let's do something interesting. So, my principal amount, let's say, is 100, or let's say 200, okay? Because I don't want to confuse you guys. Principal amount is $200. I had $200, okay? I saved, and my bank says they will give me 5% interest, okay? And this time I went to a better bank. The bank said, I'll give you compound interest. Okay? So, that means if at the end of the year, bank will see what was my initial amount, how much interest I earned, add them together, that becomes my new value, new principal amount. And then they will give interest on the top of that for the second year. Then after completing second year, they will see what was my money in the beginning of the year, how much interest I earned, add them together, and then for the third year, they will use that as a principal amount and give interest on the top of that. Is that part clear so far conceptually? Yep. So now let's look at it. After 1 year, what happens? 5% interest, 200 is my principal amount. So I have 200, it was my principal amount, and how much interest I got? 200 into 5 by 100. After 1 year, this is my total amount, total value. So this became, let's take something common, 200 into 1 plus 200 is common in both the terms, 5 by 100. Okay? This was my value after first year. Second year, what bank said? This is your new value. Your principal amount has increased by adding the interest. So, whatever you have, this is your new principal amount. 1 plus 5 by 100. This is your new principal amount. So, this amount plus, I will give you interest on the top of this amount. This into 5 by 100. This is what I will give you. So see, my principal amount was 200. After 1 year, it became 200 plus 200, 5% of 200. This was my new amount. Bank says, okay, take this amount. This is your principal amount for the next year. In the second year, this is your principal amount. And I will give you 5% of this principal amount as an interest. What I have here now. So you will see this and this as common. So you will say 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100. This is common. If I take this common, it is 1 plus 5 by 100. What do you see interesting here? After the first year, this was your amount. After second year, this was your new amount. Or again, if you look at it carefully, 1 plus 5 by 100 is getting multiplied twice. So it becomes 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 square. Now I'll let you guys process this information before I move on. Arab, don't do anything mischievous for no reason. Okay, that doesn't create any impression or any good impression for that matter. Okay? Yep. So look at it carefully. I had 200 as my principal amount. After 1 year, it gave me 5% interest. So 200 into 5 by 100. This was my interest. I see 200 common, so I just took 200 out, and this became my total principal amount after first year. Just representing it differently. Okay, this was my value. I'm just representing it differently. Now, for the second year, this becomes my principal amount because bank offered me compound interest. So this is my principal amount. So this is my principal amount, and 5% of the principal amount, that is going to be my interest for the next year. So 200, this is my principal amount. I'm just replicating it, and 5 by 100, 5% of the principal amount. That is my interest. From this, what I see is this whole thing is common. I took this thing as common. So it becomes 1 plus 5 by 100. So essentially what you see now is this thing is getting repeated twice. 1 plus 5 by 100 is getting repeated twice. So I can say x into x gives me x squared. So 1 plus 5 by 100 into 1 plus 5 by 100 gives me 1 plus 5 by 100 squared. Is it making sense? So I can just see, now you look at it. When I'm talking about 1 year, I got 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100. I have nothing, I can say 1 to the power 1. After 2 years, it became 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power 2. If you want to extend this calculation for one more year, you will see for the third year it become 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power 3.
Right.
Yeah, you're saying something?
Huh? Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, Rav.
So basically, if I put the compound, let's say for the principal it will be 200, or in the rate it will be 5%. If I keep on doing this, so if I did this, will this be in the competitive year? So it'll be like 1 year this much?
Simple things have to be kept simple. Okay?
Okay.
Now, from this, whatever we have seen, I'm just trying to derive some simple interpretation from this. Okay? That's why I had to stop you guys from going way too far. Now, look at this. My principal amount was 200. My rate of interest was R, 5%. That's it. We are talking about the compound interest scenario. After the first year, this amount became 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100. My total worth became this much because this was my principal amount. I earned this much interest. After second year, this thing became 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power 2. After third year, it became 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power 3. What is this 1, 2 and 3? This is nothing but the year. What is 200? This is my principal amount. What is 5? This is my rate of interest. So from this you see principal amount into 1 plus rate of interest by 100. RF, hold it. You cannot keep on interrupting me when I am trying to teach something. Okay? So this is my principal amount. After the first year, it becomes principal amount into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power 1. After second year, it becomes my principal amount into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power 2. Third year, it becomes principal amount into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power 3. So I can generalize this formula and say my total amount or my net asset or my net worth, I can write as a formula saying principal amount into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power n. And this n is the number of years, this r is my rate of interest, this p is my principal amount. Look at the same thing. This is principal amount, rate of interest by 100 to the power 1. Second year, principal amount 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power 2, which is n. Third year, principal amount 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power 3, which is n number of years. Yes. Now tell me, what is the question?
So I have a question. So we've only learned about two formulas. Can there be other formulas about like simple interest and compound interest?
There is no other formula that I would want you guys to worry about for now. Whatever we have learned, can we first try using that to get a mastery in that before we go to the third one? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Whatever we learn, if we become master in that, then that becomes a motivation for going further. Whatever we have learned, if we have not mastered that yet, I would say let's hold it there before we move further. Yep. Is that okay? So, there are two things that we learn in summary if you talk about. Two formulas. It's not that I did not just give you guys the formula. We literally derived them by ourselves, right? So, the formula says simple interest is principal amount multiplied by rate of interest into number of years divided by 100. This just tells you the interest amount, because your interest amount is calculated based on your principal amount and the percentage times the number of years that you are spending in the bank. And then take the interest and add it to your principal amount, that becomes your net worth after a number of years. When for compound interest, it says your net value, accumulated amount, is nothing but the principal amount times 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 to the power n, where n is the number of years. So now you can choose to remember this formula, you can try deriving it on the fly, up to you guys, but remember one thing, that every year this amount gets added and that becomes your source for calculation for the interest next year. So that is how this one is derived. So this will be probably one time attempt to derive it, and then you would remember it. Yeah. Arav, hold it. Yep. So let me check who is not clear yet. Vishal, Vasundhara, Vivan, Tanu, Vivan. Okay. Okay. Tanu, yep.
Can you explain it one more time, sir?
Okay. So I will go a little fast or slow, whatever it is. Simple interest you don't want me to explain, right? We are only talking about compound interest. Look at this. I have, let's say, $200. Okay, I'm just taking an example so that you can relate. Okay, otherwise, just putting the formula would not help. And my rate of interest is 5%. So this is my principal amount. Rate of interest is 5%. Okay. What happens after 1 year? How much interest I will get? 200 into 5 by 100. This is my interest amount. Correct? And what is my principal amount? 200. So this is my total worth after 1 year. Agree? So now here, 200 here plus 200 into 5 by 100. So I can take 200 common out. It becomes 1 plus 5 by 100. Yeah? After second year, for the second year, what happens? Bank has told me that your interest becomes your Arav. Can you let me complete, beta, please? Am I here for just gossiping with you, or am I here to teach something? Let me teach. And when there is a question related to that, we'll talk about it. Otherwise, make sure that none of us are engaging into unproductive discussion for no good reason. And I cannot be more explicit than that. Yeah? Now, coming back to second year, the compound interest theory says that once you have earned the interest in the first year, that becomes your new amount. Meaning, this was my new amount. Bank will give me interest on the top of this, not for this. So this is my new amount. Bank said, I will give you interest on interest. So principal anyways everybody gives. They are saying this is the interest that you have, I'll give you interest on top of that also. So for the next year, for the second year, my principal amount becomes this. Bank says I will give you interest on the top of this. So this is my principal amount. Earlier my principal amount was this. Now this is my principal amount. So what is the total amount I will get after completing second year? So principal amount plus interest on the top of that. So this is my principal amount. So interest of this amount, 1 plus 5 by 100. This is my principal amount and 5% of that. Okay. So here if you see, look at these two terms. This part and this part are common. So I can take this out. 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 is common. If I take this common out, this is 1 plus 5 by 100. So what you see essentially here is 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 into 1 plus 5 by 100, which becomes 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 square. So now, in the first year you saw 200 into 1 plus 5, 1, 200 into 1 plus 5 to the power 2 for the second year. So if you extend this for the third year, you will see this becomes 200 into 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power 3. Yes, Dikshita.
So, for the compound interest, how are you going to solve the question?
We'll come to that. So we just look at the formula part and how that formula has come into existence, and then we will look at some problems to try solving. Okay? Yeah, Arab. Now what was your question? I cannot hear you. You are on mute. Okay. Good that you are muted. I'm saying, did you have a valid question first of all? Or you just wanted to talk to me? Type your question. What was your question? Type your question in the text box. Okay. Now, okay, let's not waste much time typing it and doing it. Good that you are muted for now, so I'll get lesser number of questions to deal with, and that makes me happy as a teacher. All right, so let's come to doing actual problem. Okay. Now, let me pick up a question from the test itself. If you look at, if you look at one of the questions, okay, or let's do something more interesting. Or don't be busy typing, okay? I am giving you a problem to solve. That is more important than you and I chatting. Tell me if I should answer this question. I will not. I will literally not. Are we talking about taxes? See, what is taxes? Taxes is whatever you earn, you pay to the government. you are getting more interest, you will pay more tax. If you make more money, you will pay more tax. So there are things which are relatable. Practically, you can think about it. Okay, let's not waste our time on this one. But you got the answer. Okay, simple. Taxes. Government doesn't care whether you are making money by working in a IT company or manufacturing sector or by running your own business. Government only knows how much money you made by taxes or by doing gambling also. If you go to Las Vegas and you earn $1 million lottery, government is not going to spare you. They will still take taxes. So whichever legitimate way, okay, they don't give taxes to pickpockets, okay. So as long as you are making money through legitimate means, you will have to pay taxes. Whether it's coming through interest or anything, doesn't matter, okay. Let's not spend much time on that one, okay. Right, we have not learned how to earn money, okay. Once we learn how to earn money, we'll figure out how to spend it, okay. The interest that you earn through compound interest, you might end up using that for buying a Nike shoe or for buying potatoes, depending on what your priorities are. Alright, or maybe give that for taxes. Quick thing, okay. We'll just look at one simple example before I let you guys go. We have 15 minutes, okay. So now let's look at the beauty of this compound interest, okay. Let's say you go to Bank of America, okay, and Bank of America says, I'll give you 5% simple interest, and if you go for compound interest option, this is simple interest. If you go for compound interest, I'll give you 4.5%. Okay? Bank is negotiating, okay? Saying that, okay, if you go for simple interest, I'll give you 5%. If you go for compound interest, I'll give you 4.5%. Okay? And you have $500. And you want to keep the money for 3 years. If I am not aware of the calculation that goes behind the scene, I'll be tempted to go for 5% by default. Okay? I'll say, yeah, this is giving more interest, I'll go for 5%. Okay? Right? I mean, that'll be my obvious pick. Correct? Now, let's say I have to save the money for 5 years. I want to see which one is a better deal. So if I go for simple interest, how do I calculate my simple interest? Simple interest is principal amount into rate of interest into number of years, time, or by 100. So my total interest will be, let's say I'm keeping $500, so 500 into rate of interest is 5 into 5 years, 5 by 100. How much is the interest I'm getting? 100. So this becomes 5 into 5 into 5, 125. So I'm getting $125 interest. My principal amount was 500. I got this much interest in 5 years. So my net worth is $625. Okay? After 5 years. Now, so my simple interest 5% is making my net worth as $625 after 5 years. Yeah? Now let's see what's happening here. I'm keeping the same money for compound interest option, which doesn't seem very lucrative, but I'm still going for it. I'm not as intelligent as you guys. I thought, okay, I'll go for compound interest. Because I know that, okay, I'm going to get interest on interest, okay? So let's see. So my amount will be principal amount, which is 500, multiplied by 1 plus rate of interest, which is 4.5, divided by 100 to the power 5. Now let's see what happens. So this becomes 500 into 1 plus 4.5 by 100. Let's do this calculation first. 1 plus 4.5 by 100, which is 45 by 1000 to the power 5. So this is 9 by 200. So this becomes 500 into 1 plus 9 by 200. So it becomes 209 by 200 to the power 5. Now, let's do 209 by 209. 200, sorry, like 200, 209 by 200, 209 by 200, 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 209 by 200. I know this might be a little tiring exercise, but this is certainly going to be an eye opener. So let's do that. So now I have 209 into 209 into 209 into 209 and into 209 divide into 5, or I'll say into 2 into 40 into 200. Can you guys stop it for a little bit? This is done. Who is raising hand? I said, can you stop it for a little bit? 2 into 40 into 200, 200 into 200. I know everybody is tempted to use a calculator to find it out, and I don't prescribe that. So that's why I'm stopping you guys. Okay? So now this is my value. Okay? So this 200 5 times divided by 2 into 40 into this. So this becomes 209 to the power 5 divided by 2 into 40 is 80 into 8 6 zeros. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Now 209 to the power 5. Tell me how much is the value if you want to calculate using calculator. So then multiply it. 209. I'm doing it now just in the interest of time, okay? I can multiply it and I don't mind multiplying it, but I'm just 209 into 209 into 209 into 209 into 209. It becomes 399,878. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Right. Okay. I think this is giving me
My microphone is working.
wonderful.
So when I saw you calculated it, in the number, why did it have like a number, and it had like a e on it?
So that is a shortcut that you see in the calculator when they deal with a bigger number. Okay, that's the in the exponent form they represent it, but let's do it this way. Okay. I kind of got it in a problem zone. Okay, it is not giving me a straight answer. So just 1 second. I might have missed something. 500 into 1 plus 209. 200. was 4.5 by, so let me do one thing. Let me, 4.5 by 100 to the power 5. So now, let me simplify this here. It becomes, I'm just trying to show you guys what is the difference that it makes when it comes to compound interest. So 4.5 divided by 100 into 1.045 into 1.045 into 1.045. This multiplied by 500. Yep. Somebody saying something. Yadvik.
So if this were on a SAT question,
No.
are we allowed to use the calculator?
This, so again, I'm just giving an example, okay? That is just for you guys to kind of get a sense of what is the difference between the simple interest and compound interest, okay? So just hold it there, okay? Don't go way too far. The problem is you guys are going a little too far. Now, so what I was saying was, I went to the bank and bank says I can give you 5% simple interest if you go for simple interest option, and I can give you 4.5% is compound interest. You can choose whichever you like. So with a simple interest we know that okay, it's a simple formula. Principal into rate of interest into time divided by 100. This gives you the total simple interest and you add that with the principal amount. So that is how we saw that becomes 625. So after 5 years, your $500 will become $625. That is with the simple interest option. Now, when we look at this one, second option, which is compound interest, in 5 years, if it is 4.5, this is going to translate into $623.09. So now you will say, okay, fine. You'll negotiate with the bank that okay, no, 5% versus 4.5% is not a good deal. I'll go for compound interest, you should make it 4.75. Because you will see that okay, that is when you will make more than what you will make through simple interest option. So what I was trying to say was, in summary, what we have learned is what is simple interest and what is compound interest, and what is the difference that it makes when it comes to calculation. So we looked at the formula and we kind of related with that. Now it actually helps you. I mean, banks give different options for interest depending on simple and compound interest options, and then you can choose, because if you know the calculation side of it, you can negotiate and pick the right option or right plan for you. Calculation wise, you guys know what is simple interest and what is compound interest. Maybe I picked up a wrong question and I was trying to calculate for 5 years, that's why it took longer. But simple summary of that is, you should know how to calculate simple interest, how to calculate compound interest, and what is the basic difference between the two. Okay? Compound interest gives you interest on the top of interest. So every year, after completing 1 year, whatever interest you earn, that becomes your new principal, and they give you interest on the top of that. And there is a formula for calculating that, which we have derived and we have understood. So that is what I would want you guys to take away as what we have learned. And again, you can probably go back to the question and see if I am calculating simple interest, how much value I am getting for the same duration. If I am calculating compound interest for the same percentage, how much more money I am making. Imagine if this was also 5%. You would have certainly made more money by going for the compound interest option. Because every year, you are not dealing with 100 now. Let's say you had $100. After first year, it became 105, and then you are getting interest on the top 105. So you are getting more money. So that's the main difference between these two from understanding point of view. We will probably come back to this one, try solving few problems in the next class, because I was trying to show you guys something and it took me a little longer, so I could not let you guys do practice, but we'll try doing that practice in the next class. A little bit. Yeah? Everybody confused, stressed out? Yeah. I can see Dikshita is already looking very stressed. Yeah. Okay. So don't worry about that. So we just understood what is the difference between the two, what is the main concept behind it, and then once you solve few problems, right? That is when you'll get the feel of what exactly it is meant for and how you're going to use that in your in your real life scenario. Sanvi has not spoken yet at all. Sanvi, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. No, I was just checking. I mean, see, if there's something that is not clear, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes, even if you are very clear, show some reactions so that way I would know that okay, fine, Sanvi is with me in the class. Okay. All right. It is time, so you guys are already tired of me. So I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your evening and see you on Saturday. Yep. All right. Take care. Yep. Bye bye.